Hello, and welcome to our 15-minute book summary series, where we distill essential business books into actionable insights. I'm Richard, and today we're diving into Donald Trump's first book, The Art of the Deal, published in 1987. Before he became the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump built his reputation in real estate development. This book, co-written with journalist Tony Schwartz, provides a behind-the-scenes look at Trump's negotiation philosophy and business tactics that built his empire. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a business professional, or simply curious about negotiation strategies, this summary will extract the core principles that Trump claims led to his success in the high-stakes world of New York real estate. Let's explore the mindset and methods behind what Trump calls the art of the deal. 1. Trump emphasizes throughout the book that thinking small is a barrier to success. He argues that grand visions attract attention, interest, and resources. For Trump, the psychological impact of ambitious proposals creates its own momentum. For example, when developing Trump Tower, he didn't just aim for another New York building. He envisioned the most luxurious building on Fifth Avenue. By positioning developments as exceptional and prestigious, Trump created desirability that justified premium prices. The takeaway: don't limit yourself to modest goals when bigger achievements might be possible with the same effort. 2. Maximize leverage. Perhaps the most crucial concept in the book is leverage, finding and using your advantages in any negotiation. Trump repeatedly demonstrates how he identifies what the other party truly needs and uses that knowledge to strengthen his position. He writes about seeking multiple options, so he's never dependent on any single deal working out. This approach gives him the confidence to walk away, which ironically often leads to better terms. The takeaway: before any negotiation, determine your leverage points and the other party's true motivations. 3. Trump details his media strategy throughout the book. He candidly admits to using the press to promote his properties, understanding that media coverage translates to free advertising and creates a perception of success. He outlines how he built relationships with reporters, made himself accessible for comments, and constructed narratives that would interest readers. This publicity strategy helped transform his buildings into landmarks and his name into a brand. The takeaway: media attention can be strategically cultivated to enhance deal value and business prominence. 4. Trust your instincts. Despite his use of market research and expert opinions, Trump repeatedly stresses the importance of trusting your gut feelings about deals. He describes several situations where advisors told him to avoid projects that his instincts told him would succeed. The Trump Tower site, for instance, was initially dismissed by experts as a poor location. Trump's intuition suggested otherwise, and the project ultimately became profitable and iconic. The takeaway: data matters, but don't ignore your intuitive understanding of situations. 5. Trump describes his comfort with conflict as a strategic advantage. He outlines a willingness to push back against bureaucracy, opposing interests, and competitors when necessary. The book details his battles with New York City over tax abatements and zoning issues, showcasing how his persistence and willingness to engage in public disputes often resulted in favorable outcomes. The takeaway: sometimes strategic confrontation achieves better results than compromise. 6. Despite his focus on promotion and negotiation, Trump emphasizes that actual delivery on promises is essential for long-term success. He argues that the foundation of his reputation was built on completing projects as promised. He highlights examples of renovating Woolman Rink in Central Park under budget and ahead of schedule after the city had failed for years, using this as proof that his business approach produces tangible results. The takeaway: no amount of negotiation skill replaces the importance of execution and delivery. The first and most important case study mentioned in his book is the development of Trump Tower. It was 1976 when a young Donald Trump, just 30 years old, walked down Fifth Avenue and stopped in front of the aging Bonwit Teller department store. While others saw just another outdated building, Trump envisioned something magnificent, a soaring bronze glass tower that would become the most prestigious address in New York. But how does a young developer acquire prime Fifth Avenue real estate? Trump didn't approach Bonwit Teller's owner Genesco directly. Instead, he made a brilliant opening move by securing the air rights from neighboring Tiffany's for $10 million. When I negotiate, I always like to have leverage, Trump explains in the book. By buying Tiffany's air rights first, I made myself the only logical buyer for the Bonwit site. Anyone else would be limited in what they could build. With this leverage in hand, Trump approached Genesco in 1979 when they were financially struggling. He explains, "I didn't just offer them money. I offered them a solution to their problem on a timeline that worked for them." He negotiated a purchase price of $25 million, far below what the property's potential value would be once developed. For Trump, every aspect of the deal was an opportunity to create value. He convinced luxury retailers to commit to the unbuilt property by selling them on a vision of exclusivity. "These weren't just retail spaces," Trump recounts. "I was offering them a presence in what would become New York's most talked about address." The development wasn't without controversy. During demolition, Trump promised to preserve 2 Art Deco reliefs for the Metropolitan Museum. But when preservation proved costly and time-consuming, he had them destroyed. The ensuing media storm didn't hurt the project. It only increased public interest. "Sometimes bad publicity is better than no publicity," Trump explains with a smile in the book. "Everyone in New York was talking about my building." The most crucial negotiation was with New York City itself. Trump needed zoning variances for his atrium design and tax abatements to make the numbers work. City officials initially refused, but Trump persisted. "I told them this project would revitalize a declining area of Fifth Avenue. I wasn't asking for charity. I was offering them increased property values throughout the neighborhood," Trump recalls. The city eventually agreed to a $40 million tax abatement. When Trump Tower opened in 1983, it was an immediate sensation. Condominiums sold for up to $12 million. Luxury retailers competed for space, and Trump himself moved both his residence and office into the building. What began as a vision became the physical embodiment of Trump's brand: bold, luxurious, and impossible to ignore. The second case study is about saving the Commodore, the deal that changed everything. In 1974, Midtown Manhattan was in decline. Crime was rising, businesses were fleeing, and the majestic Commodore Hotel next to Grand Central Terminal had become a symbol of New York's decay, with occupancy rates below 40%. Most developers avoided the area. But 27-year-old Donald Trump, still establishing himself beyond his father's outer borough developments, saw opportunity. "Everyone thought I was crazy," Trump recalls in the book. "My father told me I was throwing away my career. But I knew something they didn't. The location next to Grand Central would always be valuable, no matter how bad things got temporarily." Trump approached Victor Palmieri, the executive managing Penn Central's bankruptcy, with an audacious proposal. He would buy the failing hotel for $10 million, but with a catch: he wouldn't put any money down. Instead, he offered a share of future profits. "Palmieri looked at me like I was from another planet," Trump writes. But when I showed him the hotel's continuing losses and my plan to transform it, he realized getting something was better than the nothing they were currently earning. Still, Trump needed 2 more pieces to make the deal work: a hotel operator and tax concessions from a nearly bankrupt New York City. For the operator, Trump targeted Hyatt Hotels, which had no presence in Manhattan. When meeting with owner Jay Pritzker, Trump flipped the script. "Instead of begging them to partner with me, I emphasized how desperately they needed a New York location to compete with Hilton and Marriott," Trump explains. "Suddenly they were selling themselves to me. The result was a 50-50 partnership where the much larger Hyatt shared profits equally with Trump." The most ingenious part of the deal was Trump's approach to the city's tax problem. The hotel was paying $3.3 million in annual taxes while losing money. Trump proposed a 40-year tax abatement where he would pay just $250,000 annually plus a percentage of profits. "I told Mayor Beam, You can take $3.3 million for a few more years until this place closes. Or you can take my guaranteed payments for 40 years, Trump recounts. It wasn't charity I was asking for, it was common sense. The deal faced one seemingly insurmountable legal hurdle. The Urban Development Corporation had to approve it. Trump's solution was creative. Have the city first obtain the property through condemnation, then lease it back to his partnership with Hyatt. This legal maneuver made the tax abatement possible. Trump's final masterstroke was wrapping the aging brick facade in sleek reflective glass. The symbolism wasn't subtle, Trump notes. We were literally covering the old, declining New York with something bright and modern. The striking visual transformation generated enormous publicity. When the Grand Hyatt opened in 1980 on budget and ahead of schedule, it achieved 90% occupancy within months. What Trump calls the deal that changed everything transformed him from Fred Trump's son into Manhattan's boldest developer, willing to bet on New York when others had given up. That's the other key to the art of the deal, Trump concludes in the book. Sometimes you need to see value where everyone else sees only problems. The art of the deal provides insight into the business philosophy that Trump claims built his real estate empire. While some of his approaches may be controversial and certainly reflect the specific time and place of 1980s New York, the core negotiation principles remain relevant for many business contexts. The book emphasizes that deals aren't just about the numbers, they involve psychology, leverage, timing, and persistence. Trump portrays deal-making as part art, part science, requiring both analytical skills and intuitive understanding. Whether you agree with Trump's methods or not, understanding his approach offers valuable perspective on high-stakes negotiation and the mindset of a bold dealmaker who eventually reached the highest office in America. If you found this summary valuable and want to dive deeper into Trump's deal-making strategies, you can purchase The Art of the Deal by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. The full book contains many more case studies and insights we couldn't cover in this brief summary. That concludes our summary of The Art of the Deal. If you found this helpful, please subscribe for more book summaries that help you extract the essence of influential business books. Thank you for watching.